So here I am in my document. I just want to show you something. You saw in the previous video on the parent page, I created this box. Now this is on the parent page, and you see how it's kind of sticking way out here? That's because I only did one box. If I was going to do this correctly, I would have done a left-hand box and a right-hand box. So what I can do here is if I go in on the page layout, I'm on my page now. If I go in and I say override the parent page items, now that I've done that, I can trim this box in if I want to. So it's not hanging out, just in case that's bugging you. All right, so let's move on. So here is my first inside page. This is my inside front cover. I've decided to run the content on the inside front cover. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to come down here and click on this button. You can see that my icon is loaded with text. I'm going to drag and drop, and I'm going to keep doing that. So I'm kind of creating my layout. And then this is the inside front cover. The only thing I want on the inside front cover is typographic terms. So I'm going to set my cursor, my flashing I-beam right here. I'm going to go to type and I'm going to say show hidden characters. And this only works if you're not in preview mode. So preview mode, if you want to go back and forth between preview mode, you can hit the W key on your keyboard. Oops, sorry. Not if you're not in a text box. Hang on. Go out of the text box. So if I hit, where is it? If I hit W, you can see I toggle back and forth between seeing all the guidelines and seeing all the rules and not. So if I'm not in preview mode, you can see that I can see all these hidden characters, all these extra pilcrows. If there were extra double spaces, I'd see them here. But what I want to do is I want to push all of this information over here. So I'm going to set my I-beam here in front of this little extra pilcrow. I'm going to go to type. I'm going to go to insert break character, and I'll do page break. Column break would take it to the next column. Frame break would take it to the next frame. So these are two frames that are sitting on my page. I'm going to show you a little later how to do multiple columns within the same text box, but for now, let's do this. And page break, as the name implies, no matter how many frames there are on a page break takes us to the top of the next page. So now this is here, and I can play with it as I like. I think I might have it centered here. And so now I can do this. And so let's say that on this first page, I only want the A's and the B's. So again, I can put the I-beam here, or I can put the I-beam here, and I can go to type, insert break character, and we'll do page break. And it'll push to the next page. Now, I don't have a text box on the next page. And so you can see what happened, right? I ended up with this little overset text box. I'll grab it, and I'll put this on the next page. Okay? And so this is what you started to do in class, where you're basically looking at your schematic, you're looking at your text, and you're figuring out what goes on what page. All right? So let's go back for a second and take a look at this type. I am going to, let's see, I'm going to make this, I'm a Franklin Gothic girly. So I'm going to make this Franklin Gothic, and I'll make it, I want a nice big headline. Ooh, that's a big headline. And I'm going to go get my, what I'm doing right now, I'm styling my copy, right? So I've got paragraph, not paragraph styles, paragraph. And I'm going to go in, and you can see that I'm working in picas and points. I changed that up here in my preferences. I went into my units and increments, and I changed this to picas and points. When I set type, I like to be in picas and points. And I'm going to do 6 points after, and then I'll click on my body copy, which is Times New Roman 10 on 12, and I'll do 6 points after. As I mentioned in class, when I do paragraph spacing, which is what I'm working on right now, I like to be consistent in my paragraph spacing. If I'm working with space below, I consistently work with space below. I'm going to adjust my leading, aka my line spacing, to be +4. Simply means if I have 10-point type, I have 14-point lead. I'm adding 4 points. Now, this is not a great break. We're going to talk more about type and breaks in class next Monday, but we'll let it lie for now. Now, the other thing I need to do, I need to get rid of these extra pilcrows. So let's use the fine change tool. The fine change tool, where is it? I always forget. It's an editorial tool, so it's here under edit, and it's here, fine change. So it's a two-part tool. We're going to tell it what to look for, and we're going to tell it what to change to. So I want to change this is bad. But I can't, if I said to it, hey, find every hard return, search out every pilcrow, it would search out these ones that I want, right? I need to get these extra pilcrows. So it's 2 pilcrows in a row, 2 hard returns in a row that I'm trying to get rid of. So I'm going to grab them both, I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to paste it and say there. Find 2 hard returns in a row, and I'll paste again and I'll delete one. So what I'm saying is find the 2 hard returns in a row and turn them into a single hard return. And I'm going to say search the entire document. And I'm going to say find next. It found these next 2, and I'll say change. And I'll say find next. Now let me try something else. I'll do change find. It'll make the change and it'll automatically find the next one in the list. There it is. And so it found the next one. Now at this point, I am content that I'm doing this correctly. It's fine. It's only finding instances of double hard returns. So I can just let it go and say change them all. 62 times it did that. Okay. Now I'm ready. So there must have been an extra text box on this page. When I delete it, you notice everything jumps because these are threaded together. Now that I've cleaned up the copy, I'm ready to apply my paragraph styles. So I'm going to go, and I like this paragraph style. I've kind of noodled around with this. I like the size. I like the typeface. Any decision that I made, I can change in an instant once I apply these paragraph styles. So let's go get my paragraph styles. Now, I have a basic paragraph and I have normal. This normal one, see this little icon? This is telling me that it picked that paragraph style up from the Word file that I placed inside here. There must have been a paragraph style in the Word file because you can do paragraph styles in Word files. That's what this funny little icon means. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to double click this and I'm going to make sure as I do that I get the pilcrow, right? I want everything. And I'm going to come up and say new paragraph style and I'll call this typographic term. So in this particular document, we were only going to have maybe as many as 4 or 5 paragraph styles, depending on what you're doing. I've done documents where I've had hundreds of paragraph styles. And in that instance, you really have to label everything clearly. And I'll just say, this enormous list represents all the different things you can customize in a paragraph style. It's worth an exploration if you just want to look through them. We're going to go through a bunch of these. I'm going to call it typographic terms. I'll say it's not based on anything. I won't worry about same style right now. You can nest styles together so that if you change something in one style, it automatically updates in another style. We'll talk more about that. But for now, I'm going to say, okay. And there it is. And I'm going to apply it to that first one. All right. Now, here is the body copy. I'm going to go in and say new paragraph style again, and I'll say body copy. Now, and again, I have to apply this. So there are 2 ways to do this. I could just go, you're a typographic term, your body copy. You're a typographic term, whoops. Notice that there's an override here. The override is coming from the Word file. I got to get rid of it because you see it's not working. So I'm going to come in and say, clear the override. and it clears out the override. Very important that nothing have an override. Now, as I said, I could go through this whole blessed document this way. Boy, girl, boring, boring, boring. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit Command A and select all the text in the document, even the text that's hidden by this. You see this? You can see the little plus sign there. Even hidden text, is considered selected. I'm going to come in and say all of you are body copy, and then there's the override. I'm going to clear the override. So now I know, because the majority of the text in this file is in fact body copy. So I'll spare myself that much work. Now I have to go in and do this. And unfortunately, there's no way around it. You can, if you want to, you can assign a keyboard command so that you can just hit a key on the keyboard. And I'll show you how to do that. But for now, you can do it the old-fashioned way, all right? So every single term has to be done this way. I'm going to go through the whole document and do this. Oh, I missed a pilcrow. Let me get that out of there. Typographic term. So I'm going to go through the whole document and do this. This is why you lay the document out first, and then you apply these character styles. And now, let's say, for the sake of argument, I laid everything out and I said, oh, man, I don't know what I was thinking when I created this this typographic term thing. I'm going to double click on the style sheet. I can change the typeface. So I'll change it to a lighter version. I can make it larger or smaller. I can change the line spacing. I can change the baseline shift. We won't talk about that right now. I can change my indents. I can change the space after. I can change the space before. I can add a paragraph rule. We'll talk more about those. I can add shading. I can do anything. I'm going to come down here and change the color to a dark blue. All right, and I'll hit OK. And every single place, let me just do this so you can see it. Every single place in the document that I have used that this paragraph style has been applied, just changed in the blink of an eye. And because I got rid of all the overrides, I know that it's consistent. Any place I used this particular typographic term style sheet has been updated in the blink of an eye. This is the style sheet's superpower. Okay? So that's just kind of a flying review of the stuff that we learned in class this week.